So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jazz, Mystic Priestess. I am so happy, so delighted to welcome you in this first circle, live circle in Mystic Priestess School. It has been quite a journey. And before I started the recording, we talked a little bit about our journey, about coming here. So I want to touch a little bit on what has been happening on the astrological level about the journey to being here right now in Circle, in Mystic Priestess School, coming together. I'll also be sharing with you, because one of my goals is to show you that being spiritual, being a priestess, is something that's super, super easy and is supernatural. And it's because it is natural and easy that we don't often connect with it, because part of our minds think that it should be something really difficult, or only a few people can have that connection with the divine. And I just want to call BS on that and show you different ways. I'll show you how I live and how I do things. So I'm going to share with you some of the tools that I did to prepare myself for this meditation. So then you can be empowered and do it for yourself as well. We're also going to talk about Virgo, because this is the lunation in Virgo. So the lunation is a period from the new moon to the next new moon, which is about 28 days or so. So the last new moon 2 weeks ago was in Virgo. This full moon today is in Pisces, although right now the moon is void of course, which means that she's not reflecting or making any aspects to any other signs. This is all astrological jargon, but if you keep with me, it'll get natural for you too. And then we'll have our own little language of, astro-spiritual people knowing the moons and how things work. So that is kind of the plan for today. It should last about an hour or so. And if ever you need to hop off, you just do so. And of course, there will be the recording. And if you're listening to this as a recording and you're not live, just know that the energy is still present for you, still very much active for you. And I do invite you to comment below wherever this video is going to be hosted. And we can still share and be in community together, even though we're at different places in the world and in different time zones. We can all connect through the magic of the internet and technology. So before we get started, so here was my process for getting ready. First of all, the process of all the changes that are happening. Then I did mention that also the journey, the transformation, everything that's happening over the past year or so, and that is starting to solidify right now. So the big shift that we're feeling right now is that Uranus, the planet Uranus, is now in Taurus. Uranus is our disruptor. So this is named after the Roman god and is a disruptor. Being a disruptor is going to question everything and the big things in life. So it's going to question our healthcare systems, our financial systems, everything for the whole of the community. So everything that we see right now in the elections around the world, all the unrest, it's a really interesting coincidence that it always happens when Uranus is in Taurus, because Taurus is if you've taken any type of psychology, the Maslowian pyramid, the pyramid of Maslow, which is the bottom of the pyramid, is everything that makes us feel safe and secure. So it's our food, our shelter, everything so that is Taurus energy, is that basic stuff. So when Uranus goes in there and disrupts everything, we don't always feel safe. And at the same time, we want to put processes together so we can feel more safe. We can feel more grounded. Uranus stays in one astrological sign for about 6 years. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was during the Great Depression. So heads up, yes, this is like momentous. But at the same time, it's the perfect opportunity for those of us who are reinventing our business. Because when you really tap into this energy, so whether it's your business or your health, your spirituality, there's that sense that whatever you were doing before is not working anymore. And Marika mentioned that as well. So what I did before is just not working, so I need something else. So just know that that is the energy of Uranus and Taurus. Whatever I was doing before is not working, and therefore this is time for me to implement the new systems. So for me, tapping into this energy, that is why my business has been shifting. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, like, I apologize, but at the same time, I'm moving through this energy the same rate as everybody else. And it's been an upturn, not knowing what I was going to do next, but just trusting that it's for the highest good. And so this is where I'm landing right now with Mistress Priestess School and creating this community. And knowing that in 6 years' time, whatever our circumstances are right now, in 6 years is going to be completely different. When Uranus exits Taurus and into Gemini, it's going to be completely different. So what you're doing now in terms of your foundational practices is going to, like, that's your foundation, and everything else you're going to build over that. So what we must focus on right now, whether it's on the 4 foundations of our being, so your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. Right now, we're just reestablishing a new foundation that's going to be more solid. So if we do this consciously, it's going to be solid, and it's going to bring us into the future. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with any of you? You can unmute yourself if there's something that you want to share, or put something in the comment. Then yeah. Oops, unmute.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I knew there was something going on. It's just that I need to understand it to better, to trust myself and to continue. And just understanding will help me.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So this is what and Danielle, you touched on something really super big right now. I think that one of the things that is being tested for a lot of us is trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in our power, because we are powerful co-creators, but we often forget that. Especially those of us who have been raised to listen to authority. Right? Whether it's mom, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a priest, or the boss at work, or the doctor, we've been trained to listen to authority and then neglect our own inner authority. And so it's that aspect of trust in our own inner selves that is part of that new foundation, because we cannot be empowered individual if we do not trust our own inner self. So that's part of everything that's going on right now. It's trusting ourselves. And that's where magic happens. I know that's been my journey for the past year or so, trusting myself more and more and more. So I know I'm not the only one in that. Good. So that's kind of planetary, universally, the energy that we're going through. And so for today, the moon being in Virgo, so Virgo, like Taurus, as I talked about earlier, Virgo is also an earth sign. So all of the zodiac signs, they are either earth, air, fire, or water. So they're very elemental, and we're moving through all 4 elements every day, pretty much. So Virgo is earth, which means that Virgo is also very much on the processes, on logic, on things that make us grow, on things that make us more efficient. The moon when the moon came full at its zenith at about midnight Eastern time, she was in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is deep ocean, deep water, the depth of our psyche. And so we are thinking with Virgo, which is kind of the queen of the month. This is the energy of the month is Virgo, but today is Pisces. So how can our intuition of Pisces serve our highest good? Because Virgo is all about the highest good. So that is the link that we're making today with the moon. How can our intuition, our deepest desires, our deepest truth, how can that serve the highest good? And how can we tap into this intuition so that we can serve others as we grow the foundation? Make sense? So as I prepared for that, so last night I was under the moon. I was listening to the night and just feeling the changes in season, as here we are moving into autumn. And it was just so wonderful. There was so many crickets this year, so many tree birds, tree frogs compared to previous years. So I was listening to that. And there was also kind of a feeling of unrest, which is kind of normal at the full moon because this is when it's so bright outside. So nothing is really hidden in the night. So that is also the gift of the full moon, is that whatever we normally hide from people is not hidden so much during the full moon, which is why some people think that they're going crazy on the full moon. They're not going crazy. It's just that there's less of those filters that we normally have socially. They're kind of like, oh. So tapping into this energy, when I prepared myself for the ceremony today, so I took a bath, because baths for me is a very sacred ritual. So in the bath, I put sea salt. Sea salt is very cleansing energetically as well as for the body. I also put Moldavite essential oil, Moldavite gem elixir that I created quite a few moons ago. So to create a gem elixir, I'll put a resource at some point. So I won't go through the whole process here, but it's water that has been infused with the crystals. And I also put a drop of frankincense, because frankincense is very holy and very blessing. It's been used for thousands of years to bless the body, mind, and soul when we go into deep meditation. So next to me here, I have my candle, and I have additional Moldavite crystals. Now, the medicine of Moldavite crystals is that it breaks through our blocks. Spiritual blocks, mental blocks, emotional blocks, karmic blocks, everything. This is like the Drano of blocks. So if you have any blocks, Moldavite is really good for that. So this is why I'm using Moldavite today. And I also have my sage. So now that I'm done explaining, we'll move into more of the meditation.